Right, let's go back to talking about Manchester United. We will talk about Marcus Rashford and what happens next in terms of him. But in terms of the present, Sue, Amad Diallo, I think, was your player to watch right at the start of the season, all those months ago, back in the sunny climes of August, and here we are nearly at Christmas. I mean, Sunderland fans, they won't need us to tell him about what he did when he was on loan there a couple of seasons ago. I think he got 13 goals in 27 Championship appearances. He was always a player. They're currently in negotiations about a new contract as well. When you look at what he did against City in the Manchester derby, that late winner, but almost single-handedly was the match winner on the day. When you look at the Ruben Amorim rebuild that lies ahead, is he now such a player for them that he sits central to those rebuild plans?
Just seems to really fit, doesn't he, with the way that Amorim wants to play. And he's only 22 years old, but it's just how positive he is, whether he's dribbling with the ball, whether it's that looking up, playing the ball forward, whether it's making runs, his movement's great. And like I say, I just think he fits the way that Amorim wants to play his game. You know, it's a great effort with the header, but you can see that he's a very good passer of the ball. He's brave. He wants to beat his man. And yeah, against Manchester City, you thought it was just going to be Manchester City were going to win the game 1-0. We were going to move on from there. But, you know, this is brilliant just to anticipate what's going to happen. You think, could he have played the ball inside? No, he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows that Nunez is coming back, going to bring him down.
Just has that little quick look, doesn't he?
Yeah, and that's outstanding, the movement to get himself in that position. Then it's a tight angle to finish. So he's a quick runner, but he's also quick in thought, and I think that's been key for him. But he's gone from obviously being a squad player, showing glimpses, to now he is one of the main men under Amorim.
And Dawes, we've sat here many times, and listen, we're not the only ones who have criticised the lack of intensity from United players, the lack of commitment in so many games. In terms of those two things, is he now the benchmark?
100%. And I think Erik ten Hag must be looking and sitting at home now thinking, why didn't I utilise him a lot more? I think as soon as Ruben Amorim's come in, he's made him, he's put him straight in the team. And ultimately, Tim touched on about midweek when he wasn't playing. I was delighted sat at home because that's how good I regard him, because you got the Spurs and you're getting rested in the quarter-final. So, yeah, he's a big player for Manchester United.
Well, he made an immediate impact on Thursday when he comes on, didn't he?
Yeah, 100%. 55 minutes he comes on and he changes the game because he plays with intensity, he closes people down. And I said early on in the show when we were showing the goals that Manchester City conceded, he runs in behind. And what defenders... I was a defender, I didn't want someone running from the right-hand side, straight in behind someone play. He runs with pace, and when he gets in these positions, he's making the right decisions at such a young age. I mean, it seems like he's been around a lifetime. I mean, he was at Rangers in, was it 2021 season, Boydie? Then he went to Sunderland and did great, and now he's had to be patient. And as I've said, Ruben Amorim has made him. It looks like in the big games he's going to play. And ultimately, he didn't class Thursday as a big game, because if he was... We saw him last week at Manchester City. I saw him live. Both ways, he runs as fast forward as he runs back. And we can't say that about attacking players. It's easy running forward because you've got a chance of scoring. Yeah. But defensive side, if you're playing Amorim's team, you expect both sides. And you get that. And as you said, he's the benchmark that people have to look at. At such a young age, he should be looking up at people above him.
Well, that says a lot about the rest of the players, doesn't it?
Yeah, nowhere near good enough.
I think those two loan spells, because of the size of clubs and the magnitude of those two, where he's been in loan, you know, Sunderland and Rangers, he's had to play under pressure. Yeah. You know, the fans demand, and I think that's helped him go back to Manchester United as well, because his performance, he's playing like one of the older, experienced guys.
And I liked it the other week when him and Hoyland were having a disagreement after one of the games. Maybe he should have passed him. It was the wrong decision because he had a chance, but he wasn't backing down. He knows he's a big player in that dressing room at the age of 22. And I think that just shows probably where Manchester United are. At 22, he's classing himself, that the senior players are probably not doing it in the right way. Someone has to be, Boyd.
Well, let's come on to one of the senior players, because Marcus Rashford, at the tender age of 27, is definitely one of those senior players. Made his debut back in 2016. Tim, he came out this week. Listen, he was watching the Manchester derby on his television back home, not in the squad for that game, not in the squad again midweek for the League Cup semi-final. And he comes out this week and says he's ready for a new challenge. I don't think many could imagine a player saying that kind of thing under Sir Alex Ferguson, but he's come out and said it under Ruben Amorim. If you were in charge of that team, what would your response be to a key player who, yes, is out of form at the moment, saying those kind of things publicly?
We should have a chat with him and just ask him where he thinks he's going to go. You know, you're the biggest club you're ever going to play for. You're earning more money than you're ever going to get elsewhere unless you're going to go to Saudi Arabia. where they're throwing money at you, but everyone's going to forget about you. No one watches that football. So, you know, what you should be at the prime now. You're 27 years of age. You should be in the prime of your career. Where do you think your career is going? Why haven't you rolled your sleeves up as a new manager, a clean slate? Whatever happened with Ten Hag or other managers you've been under before, this is all new. You're a homegrown player, which I don't think they should discard homegrown players lightly. But it looks like he's lost the fans. Certainly, I know the manager will be upset in coming out publicly, but the fans more so. They will come out and they will be disappointed with someone at the great Man United playing for that club. You come up there through the ranks and telling people you want to leave that football club. I think it's not correct. I know who's advising Marcus, but it's certainly not got the right advice there.
Tim, you said disappointed there. I'm disappointed as an ex-player.
Yeah.
Like, you think, look, playing for Manchester United, we all played football, and it's the best job you will ever do. And maybe in 10 years, maybe 5 years, the way he's going, Marcus, about enjoying playing football, realising the opportunity you've got, and just giving everything for Manchester United, arguably one of the biggest clubs in the world. And as you say, you leave there, you're going backwards. Fact, non-negotiable.
I think that might be the issue, though. I mean, every time we speak about Manchester United, or anybody speaks, it goes back to Marcus Rashford.
But it's not all on him.
But that's what I'm saying. But he will feel that's what it's like. Every time we speak about him, you know, we sat on here loads of times, and for a long period, it was Harry Maguire, it's Rashford, it's back to Maguire, it's Rashford.
But isn't that part?
It can be too much.
But isn't part of it the drop-off? I mean, we saw the graphic just now. You look 2 seasons ago, best season ever, 30 goals he scored for United, 8 last season, 7 so far this. The drop-off's been huge.
100%. But what pressure gets to people, and the demand and the pressure of playing with a big club is hard. To do it for a long period of time, that's when, you know, when you see a lot of people, a lot of, you know, players that have been at the one club, you've got to take your hat off to them, because like year after year after year to churn that out and just keep going and going and going and going, it's difficult to do.
I agree.
But Marcus Rashford needs to do more. Yeah. But I think you've got to give the manager credit, because for far too long at Manchester United, the players have dictated what happens. I think they've got a manager here now. It's my way or the highway. Doesn't matter what you're earning. Doesn't matter who you are. Bye. And that's where. But I think he will manage the situation. And you know, when you listen to Amorim this week, I thought he was very, very good, because he didn't throw him under the bus and say, right, on you go, that's it, done. He knows I might need him 1 or 2 games between now and January. I might need him before the summer. So he's going to manage the situation.
But Tim, doesn't it say something about the culture at Manchester United? Yes, it may well change under Ruben Amorim over the next few weeks and months. When you look at what happened to Jadon Sancho, see what he's now doing at Chelsea. You look what's happened to Marcus Rashford, where he was at a couple of seasons ago. It would suggest, would it not, points to something being rotten at the heart of that club. Yeah, when talents like that have ended up where they are now.
Well, absolutely, but they've made a change, haven't they? They've changed above, they've changed ownerships, they've changed the management upstairs of the football side on the technical side, and now they changed the manager in the dugout.
Where does he go, though? If he does leave United, where does he go?
Well, he certainly don't go anywhere like Man United, does he? And the biggest problem they've got is where does he go for the same money? Good luck to Man United trying to get rid of him. It'd be very difficult. They're praying that Saudi is still there, and they want someone to come like that. They're the ones with the money. They're the only ones who are going to take him off their hands. If I'm Marcus, I'm saying, I'm going back and knocking on that manager's door and saying, Ruben, I want to do it for you. I'm going to try. I want to knuckle down. I want to show my best, because he's got all the characteristics to play for Ruben Amorim. When he played in that game, before he played that game at Ipswich, I mean, it means nothing, but I stuck him in the fantasy team. I said, this is the man, Marcus Rashford, will set him alight. And when he started like that, I watched him play in the second game, and not running around and not doing anything. I took him straight out of the team. I couldn't trust him. Yeah. I couldn't trust him to be that man. Now, that can't be good. Now, if I'm not trusting him, the manager's seeing him every day, and he's certainly not trusting him. He's the one he needs to trust.
And he's not
only looking at what he's doing on the pitch. What he's looking at the whole package of these players now. He's seeing how they behave. He's doing loads of due diligence with them. And I'm suggesting Marcus is not behaving correctly, but he's not doing something right for that manager.
How's that fantasy team getting on?
We'll come on to that, Boydie.
Hence why I put him in the team.
Chaotic week for Manchester United fans because they had the high of winning the derby in the magical 2-minute spell. Then they had the chaos at Spurs, and all the while in between, it's just been about Marcus Rashford and his future. And I quite respected what Amorim said in the press conference. I would have gone to the manager and not the media. How would you have handled it?
I would have gone to the manager. I've done it in the past, and do you know what? You get far more respect and appreciation from the manager as well, because it doesn't look like you're trying to go around the manager's back, going behind his back to get your point across and make him look like the bad guy and you look like the good guy. Ultimately, they're all adults. And respect is not given, it's earned. And the way you earn respect is by knocking on the door. It can be a little bit intimidating initially, especially if you're not used to it. But we're talking about somebody that's been at Manchester United for his whole career. So he's seen some incredible things. He's had great relationships with managers in the past. He's also had great understanding and conversations with everybody upstairs as well. So it's not like it should be a new situation for him, something for him to be worried or concerned about. That just comes from pure frustration. That situation is based purely out of frustration of him being not the best version of Marcus Rashford he knows he could be, and the fans know he can be.
It's such a difficult one because if you look at Ruben Amorim, since he's come to United, he's said all the right things. He's brought loads of people back into the fold. You look at Diallo, we've been wondering why we've not seen this guy for the last year. And it feels like he's given everyone a fresh opportunity. So when this quote comes out from Rashford, it's almost like, well, you have a grand opportunity here to revitalize your career almost. And I think it was probably disappointing for Amorim. And I think when you're playing a derby game and you don't take two attackers like that to the game, it's a message. It's like, well, I can do this without you. And I think for him now, he has to set himself a challenge. Let me work to get back in the team. And if it is the end of my journey here, at least let's end it on the bang and let me put myself in the shop window. But I don't think any United fan would have ever thought that the Marcus Rashford story at Manchester United would end like this. He's their boy wonder. He did amazing things since he broke through. And yeah, it's just a shame that it looks to be ending on a sad note.
It's probably terrible for him as well because you've got him being left out and then Garnacho the same. And the manager said the reactions of the two players have been chalk and cheese. The one has upped his game in training. He's done, just so much better. And then Rashford has gone the other route as well. That comparison, you want the reaction that he's been seeing from Garnacho.
Yeah, you do. And it speaks volumes. The reaction, as you mentioned there, look, there's a lot of pressure from Garnacho. There's a lot of pressure from Diallo. There's a lot of pressure from a few of the wingers that you thought were initially out of the picture, out of the equation, and all of a sudden, they've leapfrogged him. Now, on a personal level, do I think that Marcus Rashford is a better technical player overall than some of these guys? Yes, I do. Which means, in my opinion, he should be playing ahead of them. There's something major going on behind the scenes for him not to be playing. And if he's being brutally honest with himself, and I hope he is, he would know for a fact he's not given 100% over the last, year and a half maybe. And it's clear for everyone to see outside of football. But now the managers are starting to pay attention to that. I
mean, Jermaine, we're always being told it's about what happens on the training pitch. If you can't see a player starting, why? You were just saying with Ahmad, you couldn't understand why he wasn't playing, and he's obviously doing well now, and it's frustrating you even more because why haven't we been seeing all the time? But how much of that is about what happens in day-to-day training? A manager must be seeing something that he likes or doesn't like, and
everything. Look. Football matches are played once a week, twice a week if you're lucky. And I say lucky because every football player wants to play a match rather than training. So the rest of the time you're going to be in the training ground, training in front of the managers, and they're keeping a close eye on you. You're being recorded, you've got heart rate monitors on, you've got GPS monitors on, you've got cameras all over the place recording your every movement. There's no hiding place. So if you're not putting the work in, it's not going to be long before literally everybody at the training ground knows it. And when the message gets back to the manager, it's like, right, well, who has been working hard? If he's not prepared to dig deep and really, get himself out of this situation that he's in, he is. He's been working twice as hard, so he's going to play.
There's something to be said as well about Manchester United as that sort of club. And it's only right to say there probably is a different level of expectation on Marcus because he is one of their own. He's homegrown.
Yeah.
But I think with that comes a sense of something that should push him to go even further. And I mean, the manager came out and said, we look at everything. And it was quite a strong statement that if this guy's saying he looks at everything and you're not in the squad, it means that something's going to miss somewhere. But you just hope that he can take it in good stride. These are moments that make players or break players. He's 27. He could be at the peak of his powers.
He's not a prospect anymore, is he?
Yeah. So hopefully he can use this as fuel to turn it around, because there is a player there. I don't think you achieve what he's achieved if you're not a great player.
Agreed.
Mayo, what kind of challenge are they going to get from Bournemouth tomorrow? That's United, because, on the weekend when they play, that's on Sunday. Because obviously Bournemouth were unbeaten against them last year. They come off a draw against West Ham. They won 3 in a row before that. And Andoni Iraola's cooking something.
They are a really well-coached team, and I think they're kind of going underneath the radar a little bit. If they were to win this game, and City didn't get a result, they suddenly go into the top 4 potentially for a little bit. And it just goes to show you the coaching job he's done. But they've got some really great attackers. Like Semenyo is probably one of the better wingers in the league this season. Defensively, they're astute. Kekeres is popping up with goals and assists. They know how to play football, they know their identity, and they know how to exploit teams' weaknesses, especially over the last few games. So Amorim's probably going to have to prepare really well for this game, because it could become suddenly a shootout about who's got the wits about them, who can score more goals. So I'm expecting an exciting game from it, to be fair.
Oh, a shootout. I absolutely love that. Well, there's so much more to come after.
Manchester United have lined up in a 3-4-2-1 formation since Ruben Amorim arrived at the club, with Andro Nana playing every game barring Thursday's defeat to Tottenham, in which number 2 Altay Bayındır did little to convince anyone he will be pushing for the number 1 spot anytime soon. The defence has consisted of Nasser Mazraoui, Matthijs de Ligt and Lisandro Martinez, rotating with Harry Maguire, the impressive youngster LNY Euro and Victor Lindelof. Amorim has experimented with wing-backs, with Amad Diallo, Anthony, Diogo Dalot, Tyrell Malaysia and Mazraoui all trying their hand in the position. Despite a mixed bag of results of late, a clear identity and tactical plan is beginning to come to fruition under Amorim, with the Red Devils dominating large portions of recent games despite variations in the final outcome. Indeed, a 3-man defence has brought added stability and foundation to the side, providing a platform for the team to be more comfortable in possession and find spaces further up the field easier. Whilst there are still weaknesses to iron out, notably defending crosses and set pieces, the team is trending upwards, and Sunday's encounter with Andoni Iraola's Cherries will provide a stern test at Old Trafford. Manchester United injuries to consider. A fresh injury setback for Mason Mount will see him out for several weeks in a thigh injury, whilst Victor Lindelof has been ruled out with an unknown issue. Luke Shaw is also out for several more weeks. Manchester United predicted lineup. Goalkeeper Andro Nana, right centre-back LNY Euro centre-back Matthijs de Ligt, left centre-back Harry Maguire, right wing-back Nasser Mazraoui, left wing-back Diogo Dalot, central midfielder Manuel Ugarte, central midfielder Bruno Fernandes, right attacking midfielder Amad Diallo, left attacking midfielder Alejandro Garnacho, striker Rasmus Højlund.